The learning outcome of this module is to understand how to be more resilient and successfully face everyday challenges. Let's get started.
We're going to talk about the action steps to be more resilient and able to successfully face everyday challenges in your work. The first thing is to make sure you know how to move forward. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenging or frustrating situations. No matter how talented or smart or successful you are, you're going to eventually face adversity or hit a wall or fail in some way. Being resilient doesn't mean that you don't experience emotion. It means that you're able to move forward in spite of it. So you need to plan for setbacks. There are a few ways you can shore yourself up to handle setbacks better. Strong and supporting relationships go a long way towards resilience. So you need to make sure you have at least one person who listens to you and provides support. And you need to make sure you ask for help when you need it. It's also important to practice good stress management. Take good care of yourself to counteract the physical effects of stress. And you can do this by identifying a method that works for you and then blocking out each time during the day to do it. This can be as simple as 5 minutes a day of deep breathing, or it could be as complex as making sure you do yoga every day. Next, you want to also make sure you know your strengths and weaknesses. If you're hitting a wall, ask yourself if it's something you can learn more about how to improve your skills, or is it something you could delegate, or if you're after perfection when an 80% solution is good enough. And also, make sure you challenge yourself to treat your experiences as learning opportunities, both in positive and negative. Especially when you've failed, you should challenge yourself to find 3 to 5 ways to look at the situation that are positive and help you to learn from the situation. Next, make sure you put things in perspective. You have to make a choice to put a situation in perspective. Rather than letting it be dictated to you, you can actually dictate what the situation means. This begins with a foundational belief in your own competence. If you struggle with this, keep a journal of the activities you do well on a daily basis. Of course, if you're usually hard on yourself, asking others for their feedback will help you see what you do well more clearly. Then take a long-term view. Ask yourself things like, will this issue that I'm dealing with make a difference in my life 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years from now? And if this issue is short-term, can I just choose to let it go? Then write yourself a paragraph that paints the situation in a positive light. To try out this sort of new perspective, take a curious stance. For example, instead of thinking, wow, that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, try a different perspective of, and talk to yourself in the language that says something, that was an interesting turn of events. What did it teach me? It's really easy to awfulize things and conclude that there's nothing you can do about a particular situation. You need to instead challenge yourself to come up with 3 to 5 ideas to improve your situation in the next week. Next, you need to accept challenge as a part of life. You need to accept challenge as a part of life and problem solve accordingly. When facing challenges and obstacles, use them as opportunities to review your goals and the way you're approaching situations. Take a step back and pretend you're watching someone else in the situation that you're in right now. Ask things like, what are the barriers? How can I remove these barriers I see, or work around them, or change your tactic? Is the goal I'm trying to achieve actually achievable? What other approaches could I try to achieve that goal? What if I abandon the goal? What would happen? Is there someone else that can help you? And what can you control about the situation? Asking these questions will help you understand an important part of resilience, which is focusing your attention on things that you can control. This prevents wheel spinning in areas that you can't impact. Make a list of, it's important that you try to make a list of the activities that you spend time and energy on right now, and then put a star next to each activity under your control. It's a good use of your time and energy to spend time and energy on them. And then ask yourself, are you spinning your wheels on activities you can't control? And can you let go of these? Finally, you ask yourself, are there activities that you don't feel that are under control that you can actually influence? And if so, figure out how you can act to take charge of that situation. Finally, help others. Research has repeatedly shown that helping others increases resilience. Those who help others have less depression, less symptoms of stress, less burnout, and greater life satisfaction. So there's lots of ways you can help others. You can evaluate your immediate circle of influence, like your family, your friends, your coworkers, and ask yourself, am I doing all that you reasonably can to help and support the important people in my life? If not, figure out ways that you can do that. Another thing is you could find a volunteer opportunity that you're passionate about supporting. Another result many people report when they're helping others who are less fortunate is to appreciate how small some of your problems may be in the grand scheme of things. So by finding a volunteer opportunity, typical example, soup kitchen, boys and girls club, homeless shelter. By going and volunteering in those places and looking at some other truly profound problems that people have, it will help you to minimize the issues that you have in your life.
We hope that you found this section on resilience useful. Remember, there's a complete transcript of this video below, and there's downloadable takeaways that you can use offline. Also, please leave us a comment below about how you are more resilient today, or leave us a comment about how we can make this section better. Thanks.